Can anybody begin to deny that there was no Biafra? It is unnecessary denial. There was a Biafra, and Biafra had a territory, and that territory is still there. Yes, it is Nigerian territory. But
Biafra ceased to exist.
Biafra ceased to exist after the war, but not in the mind of those who are agitating for it. They want it revived. We are not following that because a lot of us don't believe in that. We believe in restructuring of the polity based on equity, good governance, and justice. But the fact remains that if you say Nnamdi Kanu and his group carved their territory, they never carved their territory. You don't cover a territory by word of mouth.
Do you remember that thing I used to tell you, that half-truth is not truth and can never be truth? Half-truth is not truth. This man said that we can't deny that there wasn't a Biafra. There was a Biafra. And then my question there is, so there's no Biafra today? Okay, they went on to say that Biafra ended or ceased to exist from 1970 after the war. And then I laughed. I laughed. I said, should we start analyzing that? Should we start analyzing it? Biafra is far more older than Nigeria. Nigeria is just 64 years. Today, 2024, Nigeria is just 64 years. And we are talking about Biafra that has been existing for years. Now, the word Igbo was gotten from the name Ndebo, people of old, meaning that we are one of. You have seen it. NEPA has taken light. That is what we are suffering in Nigeria. That is what we are suffering. No light. Light of 2 hours, they have taken it. All right, so we are back. That is what we see in Nigeria. 2 hours light and then 10 hours darkness. 2 hours light, 10 hours darkness. Anyways, as we were saying, all right, the name Ndibu is gotten from the name Ndebo, people of old. Ancient people. So we have been existing for years. I don't mean years, I mean years before Nigeria started to exist. And then you come and tell me that your grandfather ceased to exist from 1970. How do you tell me that? No, how? Biafra is still existing. And then they talked about somebody carving out map. And when they talk about this map, I get irritated by, you know, actions of some of our brothers from South, so to say. I don't know who gave them that word, South. But as Nigeria as Britain divide and rule method, they gave them South. I get irritated by their action because, you know, saying that they are part of Biafra, some of them see it as something that's as a nonsensible word. But they forgot what their father fought for. They forgot what their great-grandfather stood for. They forgot what their fathers and great-grandfathers stood for. The name Biafra was even given by somebody from that side. Anyways, we'll not talk about that on this video, all right? I will allow you to watch this analysis they gave here, all right? But please, just note that some of the things they are saying here, they are saying it to the best of their interest. All right, so please watch it. As you're watching it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because on this channel I bring you information of everything that is happening in and outside Nigeria. All right, so please watch it.
In the studio with us to talk more about this, and of course the option of dialogue has been posited by many in the country. Good morning, first off.
Morning,
thank you for joining us on the show.
Good morning. Yeah. Good morning.
All right, yes, many people are calling for dialogue, that the federal government should dialogue with IPOB, but then is it now even constitutional, before we go into the legality of prescribing the group, is it even constitutional now for the government to say we want to dialogue with a banned group like IPOB?
I think it is laughable, because government has put the horse before the cat. Simple. Government has done what it should first do, is now thinking to do it later. Government has completely bungled this IPOB thing on three very basic grounds. One, in the first instance, it is not the duty of the military to handle internal protests. Because that is what I see IPOB as, internal protests. It is not the duty of the military. That means the police have been relegated to the background, and that is the challenge and the thing we have been talking about for a very long time, that the police should be enabled to do their work. In the second instance, it is not even now granted that the military is already there. the narrative is extremely worrisome. Why would the military not adopt what I call psychology of communication? Why python dance? Python is a huge animal that lives in the forest. It gives the impression that the military have only gone there to swallow the people. You are in an amphitheater with a python. You end up being swallowed by the python. So, in the north, there is Operation Lafia Dole. What is Lafia Dole? That peace must reign. Why wouldn't they adopt similar code name in the southeast? Why don't you adopt Operation Udokama? Why don't you adopt Operation Njikoka? Why don't you adopt Operation IGBO? Meaning peace is supreme, unity is strength. We are one. These are all names you can use. Why use that name, Operation Python Dance? You have already destroyed the psyche of the people. The people, the same people you have gone there to protect, because you said, according to the military, that they have gone there because of the security challenges in the southeast. So you have gone there to protect the people of the southeast, and you have massively destroyed their mentality. So why adopt that name? In the territory of northeast, where there is massive terrorism, you adopted a benign name like Lafia Dole. In the southeast, where there is no such challenge, you adopt such a wide name like Python Dance. The people are terrorized.
Okay.
Now, the third mistake that the military has made, and which is the most terrible one, is codenaming and calling IPOB a terrorist organization. By all intents and purposes, it cannot stand. And that is why every well-meaning Nigerian, every well-meaning observer of Nigeria, the whole international community is shouting and saying, this is wrong. This is wrong. Anybody who does not see it as being wrong is only trying to flow with the tide. Government has created a field and filled that field with landmines, and then expect players to go and play in that field. That cannot stand. So why branding IPOB a terrorist organization? And then in the words of the spokesman of the military, that they have stones
cocktails,
club sticks, and broken bottles. For goodness sake, can that be tools of terrorism? And then he said that they do stop and search, and then they extort people. For goodness sake, can that be terrorism? So I think what happens is that the then acting president, our own vice president, Professor Oshibajo, when he said that hate speech could be equated with terrorism, we rose up and said, Oga, this is not right. And he had not stopped making that statement. It is on the basis of that the military has now latched on and said IPOB is a terrorist organization. So to brand somebody or a group terrorist is no longer heavy in the mouth of Nigerians. Okay, because the leader of the country has so done. And I want to believe that, I think he said that in the heat of the moment, under the excruciating desperation of the massive hate speech that is going on, especially in social media. And I, for once, advise that the government should ignore most of those statements, because many of them are not meant to be carried through. Okay.
Now, the military came out with some of the reasons why they had to term IPOB a terrorist organization. Whether that is right or wrong is not even the issue right now. But the point there is, they were talking about IPOB forming the Biafra Secret Service, the BSS, which means that they now have a kind of a military, quasi-military arrangement. They have the Biafra National Guard, which is like a police for themselves. And they started talking about carving out. In fact, they've named areas where from the territory where it is called Biafra, as the case may be. So when it comes to issues of that kind,
yes,
how would you have wanted the Nigerian government or the military, either through the military or directly, how would you have wanted them to engage when Nnamdi Kanu was coming up with an arrangement like that?
Government, look, there are so many, government made Nnamdi Kanu to start with. And I say that with due sense of modesty. That if you do...
So you've seen it. You've seen it. As I said, they said to the best of his interest. I heard the man saying that he is support or he believes in restructuring. Well, where to him? If you believe that, where to him? All right. Restructuring can neither work. Of course, they talked about that when Nnamdi Kanu was still not in the hands of DSS, and I know the response he gave to them. But anyways, drop your comment on the comment section. What do you think about this video? All right, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. All right, thank you and God bless you.